So here we are in Blender again, and I would just like to talk about edit mode. So you can see right now we have a cube, and like we went over before, we can rotate the camera by middle mouse and going around. We can pan the camera by holding shift and the middle mouse, and we can zoom in and out by scrolling. We also can move by hitting the move button right over here, and we can move along all these arrows. We can rotate by rotating this way, and we can scale by scaling. We also have our hotkeys: G to move. We have our hotkeys R to rotate, and our hotkey S to scale. So now, if we hit Tab on the keyboard, or if we go up to where it says Object right here, we could go into Edit mode. Now in Edit mode, you might see we have all these little points. These are our vertices, which right up here, which would be number 1 to go to our vertices. But when we grab our vertices, we could do kind of the same thing as we could do with our object. We have move, rotate, and scale. Although rotate and scale won't do much because it's just one point, so you can't do much with that, but we can move it. So you could see I could move this vertice, and you can see how I could start to change the shape of it. I can collect another vertice, and you can see how I could change the shape of it. So I could start moving these vertices. Now we also have edges. So you can see right up here, edges, it looks like this line, right? So now you can see I could select the edges. So an edge is 2 vertices that are connected. It makes an edge. So I could move my edges. Edges we can rotate. So I could rotate an edge. I could also scale an edge. So you can see I could scale it. And then last but not least, we have faces, which is 3. And then you could collect a face. So a face is 3 or more vertices, or 3 or more edges. So we could do the same thing. We could move our faces around. So I can move these around. I could scale the faces with S. I could also rotate with R. So this is another way where we can start manipulating geometry and changing it to do more things. We have a couple more options that I'll go over today with extrude. So extrude right here. So if I press it, you could see I have a little plus. So if I click on the plus and drag, I could start creating new faces. So you could see I could do something like that, and then I could start extruding these faces. I could also extrude, if you hover over it, you could see the shortcut is E. So if I select here and I press E, I could also extrude. So I could make this into something more complicated by extruding. And, I could start modeling and moving the points around. So I could press 2 to go to edges and move the edges around to change the shape a bit more. Maybe I want to make some kind of weird ship or something. So you could start moving around all these points and getting more shapes. So for today, I would like you to try to move the vertices by pressing 1, the edges by pressing 2 to go to edges and just kind of manipulating them, moving them around, scaling them. And also the faces, which we can click up here or press 3, and then I could move those around. And try to do some extrudes. Again, extrude is this one right here, but you could also extrude by hitting E. Okay, and make a screen recording of this.